if you're going to somewhere like Capitol Grill or ADV's or Firebirds or all these other places, and it's gonna go higher.
That's right.
You will not find any place to rent in the entire United States.
Even in the ghetto, guys. I'm just getting sick looking at this right now. When you break it down like this, now
you see where the money goes.
And
that, my friends, is the reality of living in the United States.
In the United States.
I wanna get better, yeah. Better, yeah. Every day I wanna be just fine, yeah. And the more I wanna cry, this is my calling, yeah.
So, what's up everybody? Welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Wendy.Le.Genius.
And I am the pilot.
And together we have a channel, it's called SmilingMachineAndThePilot. And today we're going to be handling a very tough discussion. And you're going to see how it's going to go. So
you're going to learn many things as we go through and do this.
So are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good too. So we're going to be handling the topic about moving to the United States. And the title that we picked is Relocating to the US, Expectations versus Reality.
That's right. And we're going to go and we're going to correct a number of myths and misconceptions about coming here to the United States.
Yes.
Specifically, how much your money is worth when you come here.
Yes.
I think many people out there are going to be surprised with what they learn.
So we thought this is going to be very helpful, and that's why we took our time and we ran through a lot of things, and you're going to see. So stick all the way to the end of the video, and you are going to be learning so much just as he is.
Absolutely.
Let's get into it.
All right.
So this is based, as you can see, we have peppers going on here, and we're going to be sharing it with you on the screen. So watch out for that and follow through as we are breaking down these very important points. So our calculations were based on a household that makes $75 an hour.
Correct. Being
that the husband is making $50 an hour and the wife is making around $25 an hour.
Correct.
So that brings us to like $3,000 a week and total of $12,000 a month.
So that's what you have to start with. However, now we're going to start taking away from that. And the very first thing that we have to pay are taxes. Taxes to the federal government on this amount of money is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about $3,600 a month.
Yes.
And you must pay this.
Yes.
It's taken out of your paycheck before you ever see it.
Yeah.
So you have no choice.
No doubt.
It's already gone. Like death and taxes, those are the only two things that you can count on in life.
Yes. So when $3,600 is taken away from $12,000 a month, we are down to $8,400 a month.
That's correct.
And we are just getting started.
Correct.
What is the next thing on the list?
The next thing that comes out is health insurance. Now, to understand, you really do need to have health insurance. Health care is very expensive and it can bankrupt you.
Yes.
So having health insurance is very important. Fortunately, with most jobs, your employer will supply you with a range of health care coverage and they will subsidize part of it.
Yeah, okay? So when you're employed, there is a lot of benefits that comes with it. So health care is one of them, and other things that we're also going to be mentioning as we keep going by. What we didn't mention about the taxes, we need to clarify about other things. For instance, in Texas, how are we taxed?
Yes.
Compared to other states and so on and so forth.
Thank you for reminding me. Yes, that's correct. Now, the taxes we quoted for you are pretty typical of what you pay to the U.S. federal government. However, most of the states in the United States, Texas is not one of them, but most of the states in the United States will also take a state income tax. So there's even more that's deducted by the state. California is one of those states. New York is another one. Illinois is another one. So if you're going to go to New York City, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, guess what? You're going to be paying an additional state income tax.
All
and
right.
we don't have those figures here, so because we don't
do it because we are in Texas.
That's right, we're in Texas.
So yeah, we're talking about the next thing, which is health insurance, and according to our approximation is around $600 based on your employment and mine.
Right.
Like in a household that makes this figure that we talked about earlier, so 600 is going to be deducted from that. So from 12,000 you're down to $7,800.
Yeah, and you haven't even had your bank. That's what will
It
show
hasn't
up
even
in
shown
your bank account.
Exactly.
So from 12,000, you're already down to 7,800 before
Yes.
it hits your bank account.
Yes.
Now, one other thing to be aware of when it comes to the health insurance, employers will subsidize part of that.
Yes.
But you are responsible for another part of it,
Yes.
which is where the $600 a month comes
Yes. So it's deducted every time you get your paycheck. Your part of the deal is going to be deducted.
from. Correct.
Yes. So now we're down to $7,800.
Now we have $7,800 that has hit our bank account.
Boom.
Now we have stuff that we can actually spend on our own.
Cha-ching! So we get to the next point, which is really important because we are a house of believers.
Yes.
So let's say, we believe in God, right? So it is going to be 100% we have to tithe that money.
That's correct.
So out of the 7,800, 10% of 7,800 is going to be $780.
Correct. So that leaves us now, we have a balance of $7,020.
Jesus Christ.
All right, here we go.
We're down to $7,020.
Correct.
Then the next important thing that is going to give you comfort every time you're going to work and you know that you have a place to stay, you are going to be like working with a clear head. So the next thing that is really important is a roof over your head.
That's correct.
Yes. So we got the rent.
Right.
And break it down for this people.
Okay, so rent varies widely. However, one of the things in the United States when you rent an apartment or another place like that, it usually includes your appliances. So your refrigerator, your stove and oven, your microwave oven, your dishwasher, washer and dryer, air handlers, so air conditioning and heating, all of that, those appliances and equipment is already installed in the apartment. And the landlord is responsible for maintaining or replacing the units.
Exactly.
Okay? So that is part of the rent. However, the rent, this is where you're going to find a really big difference than what you're paying back in your country.
Yes.
Okay? Rent here for this is, and we're living in a reasonably nice but average neighborhood. We're in a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. The rent here is $1,700 per month.
Yes.
Okay? This is rather typical in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yes.
You can go to other cities and rent gets to be quite a bit more.
Higher than that.
Sure. New York,
forget about it.
$1,700 a month won't get you
A studio.
It'll get you a closet in New York. Okay? In Miami, a similar apartment would probably cost you about $2,800 to $3,000 a month. So the rent varies widely depending on where it is that you live.
Yes.
However, keep something else in mind. Those of you that are out there that are paying your 28,000 shillings
yes.
a month, when you convert that to US dollars, which is about 150 shillings to $1 US, you will not find any place to rent in the entire United States.
Even in the ghetto, guys. Even in the ghetto.
For that amount of money.
Yes.
So this is what to keep in mind. And we didn't point out one thing at the start that we should have, so let's go ahead and cover that now. When you're listening to this, okay, do not convert from US dollars to your currency. It's not going to work, okay?
Yes, it's not going to work. So I want to add onto something there, because this is something that a lot of people have a problem with, because I remember the first time, so I'm originally from Kenya, so the first time I came here, my first job, I was making like $100 a day. So I remember when I was telling my friends back in Kenya, they were like, what? You're being paid 10,000 shillings? Because the exchange rate at that point, it was like $1 to 100 shillings, right? So they were like, you're being paid 10,000 shillings a day? Oh my God, that is a lot of money. What they don't understand is, I'm being paid in dollars, so I'm going to be paying my bills in dollars. I'm not going to be paying my bills in shillings.
That's right.
That only makes sense when you are investing maybe back home or something like that. You got kids back home, maybe you have family members back home, or you're taking care of them, maybe you're the parent or something like that. But you have to remember you're living in the US. All your bills are going to be in US dollars.
Correct.
And I also remember, like, most people maybe can attest to this. I remember I was having a very difficult time at the beginning when I was trying to, buy things. For instance, I'm seeing like a little top is going for around $9. I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's like 900 shillings. I can get like a dress for that amount and stuff like that. So it messed with me for a while, and then I then started to realize, like, when you look at the dollar amount and compared to what you're making, and that little top for $9, it is really worth it. It is just the amount that you're using while you're here. So you need to break down that mentality of, converting the money into Kenyan shillings, because you're not going to be spending the money into Kenyan shillings.
Right, and the value of goods and services here are quite a bit different, and in most cases much more expensive than they are there. Exactly.
So when you tell somebody, like, you're making 75, so maybe from the beginning these people are like, $75 an hour, that's a lot of money. But then up to now I hope by now you've started to understand, how these things work. So yeah, let's keep it going.
Okay.
So we were still talking about the rent thing.
So we've dealt with the rent at this particular point. Yes. So the next thing, of course, you have to have electricity. Yes. Power is critical to everything that we do here.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the power here in the United States is extremely stable.
Yes.
A blackout is a rarity.
I've been here for like 5 years, and the only time that I experienced blackout was during the first experience that Texas had of snow, and it has never happened again. The other times is like, I'm asking myself, did I just blink or what happened? So I can't really count the amount of times that there has been like power outage for a substantial amount of time.
Right. So. But you do spend money for this. So generally the power bill that we have here, again, and in the state of Texas, energy costs are less than they are in other places in the country.
Yes.
For this one-bedroom apartment that we have here, and our specific energy usage, we spend an average of about $200 per month on electricity. Now, again, this is one of those things that varies widely based on location,
household,
and the household. Right.
Appliances that you have in the house, how long do they run, and so on.
Exactly, and the size of the house. Okay, if you're living in a house that we're in this one-bedroom, one-bath apartment. If we're living in a house that is 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms and 2 stories, and all of this huge space, we're going to spend 3 times the power on it. So that's just how that works. But this is to give you an idea. Yeah.
All of these things, guys, are a breakdown on the monthly expenses, so you have to keep that in mind. So now with electricity, we are looking towards $200.
Correct.
So we are down to $5,120.
Correct. And we've still got a ways to go.
We got a long way to go. So the next thing online is going to be internet and TV.
Correct.
So we need to expound on this, because people like internet and television, how does it work? So in order to watch television, you have to pay an amount, a certain amount of money.
Correct.
On the television, there are other subscriptions, all right? And then there are other people who also opt for cable. So for instance, us, we don't use the cable.
Correct.
And we just use, services like, Amazon Prime, Hulu, and Netflix, and so on, And the internet speed is so fast, because we used to have cable, and then we had a discussion amongst ourselves. We were like, no, we don't even watch television. We are mostly watching Netflix. So why are we paying for this cable? We'd rather we look around and then we see internet alone is like $100. What we are paying for is like $100, and the speed is really high.
Correct.
Would you like to tell them?
Yeah, our internet speed here, and again, it's very highly reliable.
Yes.
And it is, we're getting 2,000 megabits, 2 gigabits per second upload and download speeds here. And it really does hit that.
Yes.
Okay? Our Wi-Fi we have two channels. One runs at about 800 or 900 megabits per second, and
Yes.
the other one runs 1300 megabits per second. So,
Yeah.
we've really got good, very high speed. Now, we need this because of the fact that
Yes.
I work from home.
And I do upload, we upload the videos and stuff like that.
Correct.
Which we cannot do with very slow internet.
Correct.
Depending on the frequency of how we upload our videos.
Hmm.
And that is why. So it is a basic need for us to
That's
have
correct.
this amount of speed on the internet.
That's
and that's why
correct.
we had to cut down on the cable in order to get better services of what we really use in the house.
That's correct.
Yes.
Right. And it's worked out very well for us.
So on the internet and TV, again, it's $200.
Right.
Both on the internet and then the television, as we've broken it down, including Netflix, Hulu, and all those other things.
All right. And so now our balance is down to $4,920.
Oh my God.
Now remember, we started at 12.
Yes.
Okay. By the time we got down to paying for taxes, insurance, and tithe,
Yes.
we were already down to 7,020.
Yeah.
Now we're down to 4,920. So what's next?
The next thing online is cellular service.
Cellular service.
Yes.
Yes, another thing that we have to do, and you can probably expound on this better than I can because you're familiar with how cellular
things
service
work
is
back
done.
there. So
Correct.
how things work back there is like this. Back in Kenya, where I come from, and I know in many other African countries too, they are pretty much the same. So, but I'm gonna be limiting my experience to Kenya. So how it works there is for you to get a line, a phone line, you just go to a customer service, or a customer service center, and then you just ask them, I need a phone line, and it ranges anywhere between like 50 to 150. I know the economy has gone high, but the last time it was like maybe 100 shillings. Right now maybe it's gone up to maybe 150 shillings or something like that, but it's a one-time thing, and you have that line for as long as you want. So you have the line, and then how do you get to call people? How do you get your data and other things? You have to go and buy something that we call credit. Okay, so credit means different.
Okay.
So credit or airtime. Okay, so you buy it, so it ranges from like maybe 10 to all the way to infinity. 1,000 I think is the highest. So you buy it and then you call somebody. So for instance, the service that I used to use it's called Safaricom. It's like the equivalent one to AT&T here, and it would be like 4 shillings per minute or something like that, So if you buy airtime that is 10 shillings, then you only can talk to somebody like around 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Boom, it's done. Okay, and then that's how it works. So you have the phone line forever, but in order to talk to somebody, you have to recharge your airtime. So you have to buy depending on how much you have or you can afford. Yes.
Oh wow.
So that's how it works. And then again, if you want to buy data in order to be online, if you don't have Wi-Fi, then there are things called data bundles. So these data bundles, they are different, varieties. So depending on your pocket again, you can buy whatever. There are good deals depending on the company and how well versed you are, knowing the services. For instance, the one that I used to use was another one, like it was like 250 shillings a week, and then you would get 1 gigabyte internet. That was a lot back then.
Right.
And the only place you go is on YouTube. And then what I realized is, I'm gonna say this now a little bit, because what I realized is like that 1 gig was just, it's supposed to be like that, but then you can still be able to use the internet. The only problem is like it's gonna be throttling now. Yes.
Okay, understand that.
So that's how things work there.
Okay.
Versus here now, you're gonna be telling.
So how they work here is you generally will go to one of the major vendors, or whatever the vendors are. So here we have Verizon Wireless, AT&T,
Yes.
T-Mobile,
Yes.
Sprint.
Yes.
And you will go and you will buy a cell phone plan.
Yeah.
Now, the cell phone plan is a certain amount of money per month, and it is really based on your expected data usage.
Yeah.
They usually include the voice and text messaging
Yes.
as part of the deal.
Yes.
And you pay for this on a monthly basis. If you don't pay, they turn your service off.
Yes.
Period. Okay. And in the many cases, they will also go, if you want to buy, say, another phone, you can go ahead and, as part of your plan, you can add a phone in.
Yes.
And you will pay for it over 3 years.
Yes.
And you will maintain a contract with these people for 3 years.
Yes.
If you want out of it, you'll have to pay the bulk of the phone, the balance due on the phone.
Yes.
All at once.
Yes.
Okay. But so the monthly service fee is depending solely on the amount of data that you expect to use. We have an unlimited 2-line unlimited plan
Yes.
that costs us $100 per month. This doesn't include the cost of the phones,
Yeah.
but this is the basic service.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And so that's what we have. So we have unlimited data, and it also includes, unlimited voice and text messaging within the United States. And I
Yes.
think it also includes Mexico and Canada, but I'm not 100% certain.
I think it is.
I think it includes those and maybe even some of the Caribbean islands.
Yes.
But that I'm pretty certain.
But
that
definitely not Jamaica, because we're
no,
not there.
this is true. It was not Jamaica. That was unfortunate.
Yeah. So if you have the service, once you are on a cellular, whatever service, then you can make whatever calls you can make within the United States. You don't have
That's
to
correct.
recharge or anything. It's just the monthly service fee, and that's it.
Talk long as you like. No
Yeah.
WhatsApp required.
Yeah.
Now, but that is $100 a month. So
Yes.
once you get to that, now we are down to $4,820.
I'm just getting sick looking at this right now.
Right.
When you break it down like this, now
Now
it
you
goes
see where
crazy.
the money goes. And
Oh
you
my
go,
God.
Oh Lord, help me.
Love, I lost it all. Maybe that's my greatest mistake. Played around and lost my chance. Taking time and I regret it. I fell in love, I lost it all. Maybe that's my greatest mistake. Played around and lost my chance. Taking time and I regret it. Oh, I regret it. Yeah.
So anyway, the next thing on the line is gasoline, which is which is also something else.
Now, this is, on my bad here. I should have put this and rearranged the thing on this sheet just a little bit.
Yeah,
but we're
car
getting to the
payment.
point where it deals with cars.
Yes.
Here in the United States, it's very important to understand that a car is a necessity.
Yes.
Okay? Maybe not so much in New York City, but for everywhere else in the United States, you must have a car.
Yes.
As an example, okay? If we are to go from here in Plano, which is the northeast part of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and we were to go to Fort Worth,
Yes.
we're talking about an hour and something drive in the car, okay? It is a significant distance,
Yes.
okay? And anywhere you go.
Yes.
So it's not like that you can get out, walk out the door, go
Yes.
downstairs, and walk over to the corner market or something to pick up something to eat. No.
Yes.
Okay? The closest grocery store is 3 miles.
Yes.
Okay? So you have to have a car to get to anywhere.
Yes.
You need to have one in order to get to work. Plus the fact that it is just the idea of having the freedom
Yes.
to move when you need to.
Yes.
Automobiles cost money, and we're going to deal with that coming forward.
Yes.
So the first one, of course, you've got to have gasoline in order for a car to go.
Yes.
Okay? Gasoline is another one of those things. It's based on usage,
Yes.
right? We use, on average, with gas prices what they are right now, we usually use about $150 per month
Yes.
gasoline.
Yes.
So now we have reduced our we've gone down to $4,670.
It's
Tell 'em
crazy.
what's next.
The next thing is car payment, guys. And car payment, there are deals where, as here said, cars are a basic need in this country. So they also make it easy for you to get it as long as you're paying your dues. So as long as you're working and maybe your credit score is good, in most cases that is how you're going to be getting a car even with a zero down payment. You
That's
can
correct.
walk out of a car dealership with a car.
Sign your name to the
Sign your
contract.
name to the contract.
Drive off with a brand new
Drive
car.
off. Exactly.
This is true.
Exactly. But if again maybe your credit score is not really good and stuff like that, there are also ways that you can get around it.
Correct.
In order to because it's a basic need and you really need it, you know, so you can find ways to maneuver in order to get those cars.
That's
So
correct.
let's say there are some people who can just walk into the dealership and that just pay all the cash and then you like, get away with the car, drive off with the car, you know.
Correct.
But you know, in cases where you know you are not that deep pocketed, you know, like an average person, like, you know, this budget is for like an average person.
Correct.
Like we are. So in order to get a car, you get into the dealership, you get into the deal, and then it's broken down to monthly payments. So for on average, the car payment is going to be like $500 a month.
Right. This is usually going to get you a car somewhere in the $27,000 to $30,000 range, plus or minus.
Yes.
Which is about the average price of some of the new cars, but it would be and a lot larger number of recently, you know, not too old used cars.
Yes.
So maybe a 2 or 3 old used car with, say, 20 or 25,000 miles on it. That's essentially a new car.
Yes.
Okay.
At times you can even get better, way better deals on that.
Yes, you
even
can.
Just 5,000
Yes.
miles or even 10,000 miles.
Yes, you can.
So,
you
yeah.
really can. But so that's your car payment. So now we're down to $4,170.
Next thing that is important, all of these things go together with the car, the gasoline car payment and also the auto insurance.
Correct.
And then the next thing, which is also the car maintenance. But now on the auto insurance, you have to be insured in order to drive here.
That's correct. It is a legal
Yes.
responsibility.
Yes.
It is the law that you must have auto insurance. Okay, at the very least, to cover the other person in case you get into an accident. So
Yes.
you must have liability insurance and you must have insurance protection in case you get into an accident and you injure the other person in their car.
Yes.
That is the minimum required by law.
Yes.
If not, you know, you will lose your you can lose your license. It can be suspended or revoked.
Yes.
And you cannot drive.
Yes.
Yeah. Plus the fact, God forbid, you do get into an accident. Now they can come and they can really sue you and take away everything it is that you own.
Yes.
So, but it's the law. It makes good sense. Auto insurance varies widely. It depends on your driving record,
Yes.
the value of the cars that you own, your
How many
experience
cars?
level. Exactly. How many cars? For our situation, we're paying $300 per month for
Yeah.
auto insurance. So
Yeah.
now we're down to $3,870.
Jesus
getting
Christ, I'm
smaller.
going crazy.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Now we're going to pick back up where we left off before the break. And we're dealing with the last thing with automobiles, and this is car maintenance, okay? So you have to do maintenance, such things as you have to have oil changes every so often, other fluid changes, radiator, whatever. You need to have money put aside to buy a new set of tires,
Yes.
brakes, all kinds of consumables on an automobile that have to be replaced from time to time. So you want to set aside some money for this, and usually that's going to take you somewhere around $50 every month to put the money away.
Yes. So, and it's not something that you have to do every month like that. So,
Right. The maintenance itself you don't have to do every
Yeah.
month, but you do need to have money for
Yes.
when the time comes.
Exactly.
When now you've got to spend $600 to get a new set of tires.
Exactly.
So that,
Anyway.
that completes the cars, and so now at this particular point, we've paid for our car, and we are now down to $3,820.
Oh wow! So the next thing on the list right here is food and home supplies.
Big one,
Yes.
big one.
Yes. So we're talking about everything food. We are talking about toiletries. We are talking about water. We're talking about everything. We're talking about all the smoothies you see us blend, all the pork that you see us cook, the ribeyes.
That's right.
You know, all of that.
all of that. Milk, coffee. I need coffee. I can't function without coffee in the morning. I must have it. Coffee, deodorant, shampoo, soap, conditioner, body wash, toothbrush, toothpaste, mouthwash. What did I forget?
Q-tips.
Q-tips. Gotta have the Q-tips.
Dental floss.
Exactly. All of these things. This adds
How about
up.
body lotion? All of these things.
All of it.
So any other expenses like that you know.
And these are okay, and we also have to consider laundry detergent, dishwashing liquid, dishwasher detergent, dryer sheets for the clothes. Yes, cleaning stuff to clean the floor with. So cleaners, Kleenex. Disinfectants. Yes, Kleenex. All of these kinds of things. Yep. It all adds up, and you gotta have this stuff.
Yes.
So now our number's gone down. It's getting small to $2,820. What are we gonna do?
We go crazy. And then let's say, because you work so hard, you want to spoil yourself once in a while. So you go out somewhere to dinner or even to lunch, and for two people, and that's what we are working with, it's going to cost you to just get inside the restaurant is going to be like $80.
Yes.
Or $80 to $100.
Correct.
That is just food and the fountain drinks, the soft drinks.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So if you are a person who drinks alcohol, wine, and other things, is going to be a lot higher than that. It's going to be more, yes. And it can go higher than that. This is just basic food, And it depends also on the restaurant. If you're going to somewhere like Capitol Grill or ADV's or Firebird or all these other places, it is going to go higher.
That's right. Yes. Now you can double that number.
Now you can double the number, yes.
But this is one time a month.
Yes.
For $100.
For $100.
So now our number is down to $2,720. Tell us what's next.
Hair, nails, your haircut.
That's true.
And all of these things together, the most expensive one is my hair.
Correct.
Because, doing a black girl hair is not really easy. So the hairdressers are not all over the place like any other type, like the white hair or Asian hair or whatever, So he's going to use $30 on his hair.
$30.
Yes.
And that's a lot.
And me on the other hand, I'm going to be using $200.
$200
for regular braids. I'm not talking about the wigs. I'm not talking about all the other extreme stuff.
That's not a bad price either.
It's not a bad price either.
Double that easily.
Exactly. So where we're going right now is $200.
Yes.
For the regular braids, and that's what it is.
Correct.
And so that brings us to $380 in expenses of this one. So the price has gone down to $2,000.
Yep. $2,040. Oh my goodness. Every now and then, you have to treat yourself to something or other. You can see a new pair of shoes you want to get, or a nice blouse, or pair of pants, shirt, something like that. You got to spend a little money on that yourself. You need to have something for yourself every now and then.
Yes.
And so you're going to go and you do that. Okay.
Yes. On the nails, we didn't clarify though. It's manicure and 2 pedicures.
That's correct. I have to have my pedicure.
Yes.
I must have that.
Yes, I must. And then now you're talking about the treating yourself to the clothes, right?
Correct.
Which is like $200, let's say, something like that. And then we are down to $2,140.
$2,140. And so now personal care. These are other things that you have to spend on yourself,
let's say body splash.
Correct. Yep. Those kinds of things. Or perfume, something like that.
Perfume is not listed here. We don't want to lie, babe.
Well, that's because you don't buy perfume. That's because you don't buy perfume.
Personal care is just $50.
Oh yeah.
So you have to remember that. Yes, but now that's why you are saying that.
Well, sure.
Well, it's not.
Okay.
But let's say if we don't. Again, these are things you don't spend this much every month.
Right.
Because some things, for instance, you bought them this month.
That's what my point is.
All right, then.
That's my point.
All right, so then there we go.
Okay.
Make a ride. It hurts so much because of your height. You thought you were the only one who could make me feel so nice. But I'm sorry, 'cause now I have another who is brighter than the morning star, makes me happy all day long.
Go.
Okay, so now we'll go down to these next ones. The next one now, okay, you know, look, you get sick, you have to go to the doctor, you have some sort of a scheduled recurring treatment that you have to go to every month, okay, or every week or something, you know, which is, you know, that's not uncommon, okay.
Yes.
You know, and maybe some medication, whatever it is, but we put that under, you know, sort of medical visits, doctor visits, things like that. Again, this varies based on your situation. Ours is running, you know,
And your health insurance.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, so there is something that's called a copay with health insurance. There is a certain amount of money when you're going to go see the doctor. There's an office visit, and there is a certain amount of money you have to pay out of pocket, and it's called a copay.
Yes.
And with our health insurance, it is $30 for a visit.
Yes.
Again, this varies depending on policies. And
Some
things
are
like that.
$40, some are
40.
$50.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ours are 30, and this is the usual expense that we have
Yes.
on a monthly basis is about $150.
Yes.
So now where are we? Oh, we're down to 1940. Next is I'm leaving to you. Go ahead. Liv.
This is for people who like drinking and partying and things like that. So we do not do that. So do we drink and party?
No,
we don't. Then
we
why
do
are
not.
you giggling
No.
funny?
I'm agreeing with you. This
So
is true.
if you're a person who drinks all the time and parties all the time, then you go to the club and all of that, it can cost you like $130, and that's on the low.
Yeah, that would be for one trip.
That will be for one trip,
Yeah.
all right? So let's say something like that. But if you want to take it easy like us, you just go to the stores and the liquor store and you just buy it, and then once in a while you turn up in the house.
Exactly. And we'll pour one up and we'll make something or whatever and watch a good movie and all of that. And so, but there you go. We figure about 130 on average.
Yes.
Something like that on a monthly basis. Now we're down to 1810.
Yes.
Remember, we started at 12,000 and now here comes the end.
Are you now understanding what it is like earning $75 an hour? So when you see your sister, your brother, your relative, your mom is earning $75 an hour, this is what their monthly expenditure looks like. And this is a household with no kids.
Correct. That's correct. We have no children. That is right.
Yes.
Now you add children in there and this is going to go a lot higher. Now we're going to touch on the very last thing, which is extremely important, okay? So this is savings, retirement, okay? Something that's very important. You obviously must save money in the event of, you know, so that you have something, a rainy day fund, you know, in case something goes wrong.
Yes.
You know, the emergency fund, okay? You know, there's any number of things that this could be for, okay? Or you're saving because you want to take a vacation. Or you're saving because you're putting together a down payment to buy a house. All of these kinds of things, money has to be put into savings.
Or you want to start a business.
Or you want to start a business, that's correct. Plus the fact that for your retirement, you need to put away money as well. So
it's called 401k.
It's a 401k, which is something that your employer will usually have available to you.
Yes.
And in many cases, the employer will match whatever it is that you contribute, okay, up to a certain percentage. And the money accumulates over time until you retire. But all of these things adds up, and it adds up to a big amount of money.
Yes.
Okay? In this particular case, $1,500 every month for savings and retirement.
Yes.
Now, our remaining balance is $310.
$310, guys.
Now what you need to do
Yes.
is to convert that $310 into
Into
your
cash.
local currency.
Into Kenyan shillings, Tanzanian shillings, Naira, what? All of it.
Exactly. And see what what the person that is here living in the United States has left.
Yes.
For any other need that they may have. And we've not covered everything.
Yes.
But
Some
out of
things
that-
we've left out because we wanted to make it as average as possible.
So to put one big number on it,
Yes.
we started at $12,000. By the end of the month, with taxes and all the expenses that we've just listed out to you, we have spent a total of $11,690, leaving $310 left
Yes.
over.
Yes.
And that, my friends, is the reality of living in the United
In
States.
the United States, so if you have your sister living here, your brother living here, a relative, your uncle, and then people like throwing around like, they are mean, they don't want to send us money and stuff like that. That's not what it is. At times the bills are overwhelming them. They don't even have time for themselves. In fact, fun fact, right? Fun fact
Fun
is
fact.
most people back there have more fun than
sure.
we do here.
Sure.
You see every weekend or every 2-3 days, you see them going out to the club to party and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yet you who is making all the top dollar cannot be able to do that.
Correct.
Now guys, you understand why this is not possible with $310 to your pocket.
Right. So the next time that person that you're complaining about that person sending you money because you can't go to the club
Yes.
or you can't go buy a bottle of Hennessy,
Yes.
keep it in mind that they're struggling along
Yes.
just to get through all of this other stuff. Okay? And I will tell you that, the salary that we put down here that is income, it's not the highest, but it's definitely not the lowest.
Yes.
Okay?
Some people get way lower than that. So imagine
true.
somebody who is getting $10 an hour.
Correct.
Or $8 an hour, or $13 an hour.
Or even $25 an hour.
Or even $25
Okay.
an hour. And so let's say for instance somebody sent their kid to the United States and now they are expecting them to change their life, in about like 3 months, 1 month.
Yeah.
They're giving you pressure back to back. You
Correct.
send them money, they misuse it. You send them money, maybe they run down the budget for you, then because everything you have to put up a budget like this. For instance, right? You have to, if somebody tells you like write a budget that you're gonna be using for a month, you write down the budget, they send you that money, then you come out of nowhere like, oh, this happened, this happened, this happened. It's unrealistic because the person is not gonna have any money. You're gonna be sending this person into debt.
Correct.
Unnecessary debt. You're gonna be having them, stressed out and so on. And this thing is gonna have a part 2 where we're gonna be talking about the real talks and how much situations like this have sent people to depression and even to the ground.
That's
Some
correct.
people have come here and gone back home with nothing.
That's
Because they
correct.
can't take it anymore.
That's correct.
And so on. So it's a lot of opportunities, but at the same time, people need to understand, like, the system works here. And these people are going to get their money.
That's correct.
So there is no way to work around it. And you can even go to jail if you don't pay your taxes and things like
That's
that.
correct.
So
That's
people
correct.
need to understand that. And also, if you send your kid here, let them send you the money when they can. Do not give them the pressure. Do not start talking around how these people are mean. At times you send somebody like $10, even 20, and then they look at you funny. You can just tell by their reaction that they didn't really appreciate. They expected you to send them 10,000 or even 20. So they look at you. You can just tell that they didn't appreciate that money. But this is out of $310, you sent them $10.
Correct.
You are remaining with $300.
Right.
That is what they need to understand. So
Right. And so I would say to you this, okay? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I forgot to mention one thing.
Go.
This 310, it is before considering those people who are sending money back home. So let's say they have their mothers back home, they have their fathers back home, they have their siblings back home, they have people they are taking care of back home. This 310 is what they're gonna be getting money out of to send you.
That's correct.
Yes. So
And if
sorry for
anything,
interrupting.
no worries. And if anything goes wrong,
Yes.
they are gonna need that $310 as well.
Yes.
So I would say this: if you're sending your family member, your child, your brother, your sister to the United States, do it for the right reasons. Send them here so that they can come here for a better life. If you're sending them here so that they're going to send money back home to support you, you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. And that's the God's honest truth. Okay? So come here for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Send your family member for the right reasons. Right?
Yes. So people normally expect, like, you know, they come here and they fast. I remember the first week, literally, people were asking me for 100,000, 200,000, both adults and young people, working people and unemployed people. So you're like, Jesus Christ, did I just land? And then there was all of these thousands of dollars that I am greeted with at the airport. What is it?
Right.
Is there a tree somewhere where every day we go in the evening and we line up and, you know, we just pluck the money, you know, and it depends on what you came up with. Is it a bucket or is it a huge tank, 5,000, you know, that you're going to be filling the money, and depending on what you came with, that's what you're going to be taking back home. It is not that. So
Right.
people need to understand all of these things. People are giving their relatives in the United States and other countries who have gone to look for greener pastures so much unnecessary pressure. And some of them, they are also giving unrealistic pressure. So for instance, somebody is asking you for money to go and party. You yourself, you can't even party.
That's correct.
You know why? Because the bills.
You got to pay all of those things.
Yes.
You know, so myth dispelled. There is no money tree here.
Yes.
Money does not grow on trees. There is no pot of gold. You will come over here, you will work, you will earn.
Yes.
Okay?
If you don't work, also you don't
You
have
don't work,
nothing.
that's right. Okay? So you come here, you work, you will earn, and your life can grow. Okay?
Yes.
But again, send them here for the right reasons. Send them
Yeah.
here so that they can have a better life, not to go and send money to you to support you. Okay? That's, if you're doing that, you're just doing it for the wrong reasons.
So yeah, that is what it is, family. Now you have a rough idea what $12,000 is. $12,000 is literally $310 at the end of the month. So
Exactly.
remember that every time if somebody sends you money, I hope you're gonna be appreciating it a little bit more now, and you're not gonna be careless with it, because they work, sweat, blood, and tears
That's right.
in order to get that money. And any single cent, whether it's just 100 shillings that somebody sends you, whether it's 100 naira, the person has really sacrificed big time. So we've broken down everything that happens in this country, the expectation versus reality. It's really a land of milk and honey, because you don't have to have connections in order to get the jobs, and you
Correct.
can be anything that you want without having connections. You know, the paperwork, you just present it, and if you qualify for the job, you're gonna get it. But at the same time, it is a first world country because of how the system works, and
Correct.
it definitely works. It works because taxes are paid, the bills are there. So people need to remember this at the back of their minds. We wanted to do this to help people understand, both people who are
Correct.
back there, people who want to relocate here sometime, so that they come here, not, you know, with the wrong expectations in their head, and then
Correct.
lead to depression, and then after some time we're here, they're no more, and stuff like that.
Right.
And also we want their families to also understand, in order not to give them so much pressure,
Correct.
you know. In fact, do not ask people for money. It is rude.
It really
is rude
is.
to ask people for money who are here, because if really it was all that beautiful, then every month I personally I'd be sending people $500 each.
Correct. Correct.
You know?
Yeah,
But-
it's not that way.
Yeah, it's not that way. So
Well, we hope that we've been able to educate you a little bit, to dispel the myths,
yeah.
to get you to understand a little bit about what it's like financially here in the United States, and that it will, if for nothing else, it will enlighten you about the realities here.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of myths There's a lot of misconceptions
Yeah.
about how, what it's like to come here, from all around the world.
Yeah.
It depends on where you're from as to what those myths and misconceptions are.
Yeah,
okay?
but most of them are common.
True.
Yeah.
But the money one is one of the bigger ones, and I think we've really tried to present this to you in such a way so that you can fully understand, and so that you won't be so harsh on those people that you've sent here.
Yes.
The next time when they say, "I'm sorry, I don't have money to send you."
Yeah.
Hopefully now you can understand why.
Yeah. Yeah. So the next topic, like I said, is going to be about still expounding further on the myths and the misconceptions, and how people have come here and gone back depressed without building nothing for themselves, how people have taken advantage of them, how people have pushed them to depression, and all of this, many other things that people need to understand how everything that you need to come here, and also the myths on, just give me an invite and come over.
Yeah,
and that one is also going to be a
one.
different shocker.
Oh, yes.
People to understand all that, the details that it takes in order to invite people to come here.
Yeah, what
to
that
the United
invitation
States.
really means.
Yeah.
Right?
So thank you so much for watching, everybody.
Thank you.
If you got all the way to the end right here, you are a big wig. Big shout out to you.
That's right.
And
Thank
we
you.
really thank you for your love and support. Also, if you haven't watched our live performance, which was in December, you need to go and check it out, guys. Check it out. We've been, some people have been complaining, like, the videos are too much, and you can even see, like, people are even starting to get bored and stuff like that. But what they don't understand is, we wanted to get our fans to get the videos as soon as possible. So it cannot be possible if it's a 3-hour worth of video that we are going through and editing all of it before it comes. Otherwise, the video could have gone out in like 2 months or 3 months.
Right.
So we wanted people to get the videos as soon as possible. So that's why we broke them down into each song. 1, it is less time consuming, and 2, it is just easy to watch.
Right.
It's easy to watch something that is 3 minutes versus something that is 3 hours.
Correct.
Right.
That's right. Right.
And also to kill the anxiety and
And yet you still get the experience of the live performance.
and you get the experience of the live
Exactly.
performance just like it was. So please make a point to go and watch it on the other channel at Wendy.Le.Genius, and also please get me to 100 or 200 listeners on Spotify this year. That is the goal. That is really simple, guys. We should
Right.
be able to do that.
That's right.
Because we've done it on AudioMac and other platforms like Boomplay too. So the only place that we need change is on Spotify. So if you got your Spotify loaded on your phone right now, pull out that phone, type Wendy.Le.Genius, and then let the magic happen. We got 22 songs and counting.
That's right.
Yes.
More to come. And thank you so much for watching, and please like, share, subscribe, comment, and return to our channels, both of them, and keep looking out for some good content here, because we got more on the way.
We just did this video in order to explain to people to have a better insight and understand what maybe they will be getting themselves in future if they plan to relocate to other countries or for greener pastures and stuff like that. We were not poking anyone, so
No, it's just to help you to understand the true realities.
Yes.
Okay, you will not get off the plane and somebody will hand you $5,000 and a green card. It does not work that way.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so come here for the right reasons.
Yes. Oh, and also it reminded me of things like student loans and stuff. Like, we'll tackle that on the second
Yes, we'll do that too.
topic. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for
Thanks for
watching,
watching.
and we hope you have an amazing time, and we wish you all the best in whatever you're doing. Take it easy on your relatives in the US now.
And we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.
If you need to see more on food, music, beauty, fashion, DIY, flying, and so much more, kindly hit on the subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so that every single time we're going to be making an upload, you are going to be notified. Thank you so much for the love and support, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.